G'day guys, something a little bit different than I normally do with my IL2 content. Squad mate of mine, Drake, wanted me to put some voiceover on some of my clips, just basically explaining what's going through my head at that time in the fight, how I'm approaching the situations, what I'm thinking of, you know, planning the engagement sort of thing, or my role in the engagement. It's by no means an instructional video. It's just an insight into how I fly in IL2. So don't take it as a tutorial. It's not. I'm not saying if you do X, Y, Z, then you will win. It's just, just an insight, as I said. So let's roll the first clip. Most people in fact, I'll go as far as say 99% of people will play ground attack at a low level altitude. It's just the meta of the game. Nothing. High altitude works, but it's nowhere near as easy, and it takes a lot more skill, I feel, to actually learn how to do accurate, high level precision bombing. It's not easy, so most people choose to go sit on deck. Being that I'm in a P51, I know that I have incredible deck speed. I have incredible zoom climb, and I can maneuver, so I actually don't mind going down low into a situation like this because the plane can handle it. It's extremely capable. So what I'm going to do is going to dive down to the deck to try and get a silhouette of the target in question that I'm looking for against the horizon, because there's no point in just flying over the top and just going there and saying, oh, they've already gone. So here I spot them off to the top left here. Okay, I've seen a dot on my screen in game. It's a lot bigger. I know it's a bomber, an actual bomber, which is a surprise to see. However, I also see during this turn I see another dot, and I see it's got an escort fighter. So I got two choices. I can go for the bomber and put myself at a disadvantage against the plane, or I can, you know, go straight for the fighter. The thing is, I don't know. Neither of these guys know I'm here, and I have the advantage, and I can still possibly do some decent damage against the bomber on my first pass. So zooming in, you can see the outline there. It's a HE111, which is an absolute fire hazard, and the gunners, they aren't as scary as the 88s. It's got more of them, and I think if you put more of them in box formation, you'll have a lot more chance. But one for one, the 111's gunners are nowhere near as dangerous as the 888s. So, given that neither of them have seen me, I'm probably being caught out by the gunners now. The fighter definitely hasn't seen me until he starts shooting there. They still haven't got a good line on me. So I decide, okay, why not? Let's do one pass on the bomber, and we'll go straight for whatever the fighter is, because I'm confident I know I can kill it. So take some peppering shots at him, cause a fuel leak, break off as soon as possible. Check my 6 to make sure that that fighter hasn't dove down onto me. Turns out it hasn't. He's there. He's only just seen me. So now, because I can force a merge, I now have the upper hand. Coming from down low, in this plane, coming from down low, going over the top is not actually a bad thing for it to do. Now, as it gets closer, from that angle, I can see that it is a D9. So he hasn't seen me. I think he hasn't seen me, rather. You probably could see someone. You can tell by the way someone's flying if they've seen you or not. He can't see me, because that's the wrong thing to do. If he had seen me, he would either start climbing or dive and try to do the head-on pass, because the D9's still scary with a cannon loadout. He can still do a decent head-on pass with you. So I follow him up because my plane's better in the climb, and he obviously hasn't seen me. He just presents his rear for me. I'm in an easy position. Don't take the shots yet, because there's no need to. If you're not confident that you can take the shot, why take it? I wasn't confident in that angle, so I just follow him down. I know I can outrun him if I have to, and I know as soon as he starts climbing like that, with my superior energy, he'll make an easy shot. So start pulling the trigger, and I think from memory that was a pilot. I think I got this pilot, but either way, he's dispatched quite easily. So now that he's been dispatched, the escort fighter that is, we're now free to hunt down this triple one. And the thing about triple ones is that they're very flammable and very fragile. So I'm actually quite confident in my ability to take this guy down. So we just back off a little bit with come back into combat mode, checking our left and right, having a look at the traces that are coming out in front, confirming that yep, that is indeed the enemy. In case you couldn't see it before. Prior to this, I had actually set my convergence to I think it was 55 feet width, basically setting it to the width of a triple one. And we had to look at that one up on Google because obviously with the numbers there, it doesn't actually tell you what the planes they are. I like it on the Spitfire where it does. Um, so all we're really doing is just waiting, biding our time to get in range. Got some low shots there, aiming for the engine, just going ham on it, and you can see there instant fire, and that's a HE111 dispatched again quite easily. So in this next clip, I'm going to show how to reverse a situation where I've made some mistakes and I've taken the fight in a way that tries to benefit my airframe. So obviously I'm in a D9 here. I'm not up in space, okay? So I'm actually starting from a disadvantage because, as we know, B-51s, Tempest, Spitfires, everything that the Allies can throw at the Germans, it will outturn you and it will outrun you. All right, even a 47, they're just simply better like that. So you have to keep that in mind when you're fighting these planes. So I'm first of all, I'm not set up. I'm in a very poor position. I'm trying to find these guys so I can help a friendly. So you can see that there's a friendly down there who's attacked a Tempest. I think it's a Tempest I shot earlier. And there's a 51 going at him. So I'm taking a chance that the 51 is going to be distracted. And I'm going to be able to sneak in and get a cheeky shot on him. Alright, so that's the 109. I think heading left, maybe not. No, this is the 51. So I feel like in this climb as it comes over the top, I'm going to have a shot here. And ordinarily, you would. You can pull a bit of out. You're 600 k's an hour. You're climbing. You climb better than he does. He might turn over the top of you, but you're still 600 k's. You turn really well at 600 k's in a 190. He levels out his turn. The problem is, I fuck up my aiming. I completely miss on this first turn. So I'm in a problem. This is a problem. So the 51 knows I'm here now, and he's a better dogfighter, better dogfighting airframe. So my best chance is to try and get him on these shots here. I miss again. I make another mistake. Okay, so now I'm slow because I took a chance, a gamble, and he can just turn over the top of me. Like I'm 400 kilometers an hour. I'm fucked. All right, basically fucked. He has all of the advantages in the world. He picks up speed as much quickly as I do, but he can turn better than I do. All right. He's got 150 octane. End of story. Like that plane is just better. All right. So I've pissed away all of my advantages completely. I get a chance where he over rotates his aircraft. He goes into an accelerator stall. He captures it, and I know we're about to go for a head-on pass. So I have to force this merge, this head-to-head, to happen for me to even come close to becoming to coming out on top. That's one of the areas where the 190 excels at, because you've got cannon and you've got a lot of it, and the way the HE works in this game, especially for the Germans, You can basically knock someone out of a fight if you get a little bit of cannon shells on them, and that actually goes for every plane. You get a little bit of schvack on someone, you get a little bit of hep spanner on someone, they're out. Okay, as simple as that. So my goal here is to try and knock him out on this pass before he gets around behind me, because as soon as he does that, he's just going to pepper me to death with 50 cows. Just and the likelihood of my pilot getting sniped is just ridiculously high. So we go for it. He's not in a good position. I pull my nose up just a little bit. My convergence setting at 700 meters means my bullets are slightly firing higher than normal. So this is actually not a bad shot for me. I lift the nose up. He's under my nose, so I have an advantage there. And we secure a hit, which is enough to get me back in the fight. So he's hit. He's not having a nice time, and he bails. Actually, I believe. Yeah, he's already bailed. So with the 190 especially, you can't really afford to get into an extended fight. And the fact that I let that happen effectively in that situation was 3 mistakes on my part. Missed, and didn't start from a advantageous position. But so long as you can force that merge and you hit that shot, you'll have it come out on top, relatively speaking. So here we've got some footage from, again, Finish, because it's the only server that's populated when I fly. We can see a fight happening in the distance. Don't know who's in it yet. We know that there's 2 Germans, according to the map, on over there somewhere. And there's obviously a friendly in the mix somewhere, because they wouldn't be going up and down if there wasn't. They're obviously taking ground fire. At a distance, you can kind of see the outline of an LA5 there, a Russian plane or whatever, and there's yellow traces going after it, and it indicates a 109. You can see this guy here in that zoomed in state. You can tell it was a 109 because the wings were far straighter than the Russian planes in the game. The Russian planes they get wider as they come to the aircraft, whereas the 109 wings are relatively straight. So you can tell that was a 109 from a distance, right there. So we got 2 109s versus 1 friendly, and I've got Dogefighter off my right wing somewhere. I think he's in front of me down there. So we got 2 planes coming to help these guys. He's in front. We both go for the high guy because why wouldn't you? It's an easy target. He's out in front. He's going for him. And he actually hits his shots on this turn. Very, very, very well done. So I disengage from him completely, and I focus my attentions on the second 109. And like the 190, ideally, if you can go for it, go for the head-on. He doesn't know I'm here. He has no idea. And we plug him full of holes on the underside. Hurt his engine pretty bad. It's got oil leak. It's got venting fuel, or it's venting radiator fluid. And so basically it's just about not blacking out, leading properly, and going for the kill shot. I miss a couple shots there, but he decides to climb for some reason. He thinks he can climb away because he's a 109. We slow ourselves down a little bit, plug him full of a few more holes. Engine explodes. He's on fire, and actually that was a pilot kill. And Doge has actually dispatched off his guy because he's fucking excellent, and I trust him to dispatch his guy as well. Alright, so this engagement here, I'm in a Yak-9, my new favorite Russian airplane, lol. So here we are in a Yak-9, and we're at the front line, and we can see rounds going up in the sky, and I've got 3 dots in front of me. I can't tell what's what just yet. But as we zoom in a little bit closer, you can start to begin to make the outlines of these aircraft. I assume from the way that there's one plane just climbing for the fucking heavens, that's got to be the bad guy, because these guys underneath are not catching him. They also start shooting. Probably can't see it in the footage, but that's red. So I know, and you can also tell kind of from the pattern of tracer fire what's being fired. Um, I can't describe it. I don't have any science to back it up, but you can kind of tell whether or not the tracer is German or Russian based on the size of the flash and the amount of it. At least I feel like you can. So we got a German climbing away. I don't know what it is, um, but we're gonna have it take a peek. So we'll keep climbing, keep climbing. He's at the apex of his climb, and it's there that you can see that's a 190 profile. So you know from the way that his aircraft is angled that he's running out of speed. These guys down here have dropped off. I have speed. I'm going to duck in and do something about this 190 because he could, if he was competent, reverse that situation on those two guys quite easily. Because he's in an A3. So we speed ourselves up, get ourselves into combat condition, and thankfully he levels out. No, he doesn't actually. He turns in a little bit more, and we get a couple of hits, and you could see through that clip there. You might not see it on YouTube, but we do pretty significant damage to his wing there. Now, being a Yak 9, if he tries to dive, I can dive after him. This thing dives exceptionally well, and he actually does that because that's the number one defense mechanism of a 190. In fact, he almost loses control. I get another couple of shots on his wing, he regains control, and he's just going to dive for the deck. That's what he's going to do. The other two guys are Yak 1s, so or some other planes, so they're not going to go for the dive, but I am. I'm in a Yak 9. Alright, this thing has better dive characteristics than any of the other Russian aircraft, and I'm not going to let this guy go. So we put a couple more hits into him, and it's just this right now, just trying to be a little bit patient, because you don't get a lot of ammo. You want to line up the shot, make sure you're going to hit him when you do, and that's what we do. And that's a pilot snipe, and he's out of commission. When we find a Yak right here. So you can tell from his turn there that, and from his entrance, he's come around that, from the bottom right. He's bleeding off his energy. So as he climbs as well after us, unlike in a situation where he's zooming down and then coming back up in one fluid motion, he's bled off his energy. So we punch up, and he doesn't even try to disengage. We punch our throttle all the way forward. We do the classic climb over the top. Pop out the flaps for stability as we come over the top and stall out. Lose control a little bit. Regain it. And then we try to get him on the down. Now I missed there. I missed there with my cannon. And the MG17 is useless. So I got a couple of MG17 hits on his tail section. So now we're relying on snapshots as we come down through the scissors, or he disengages and we chase. And it's the latter that actually happens. So try and snapshot him again here. I miss again with the cannon, which is the important part. He's smoking a little bit. I lose the wing a little bit and through that dive there. And now we give chase. So his fault there was for trying to chase in that scenario and not getting the nose up and not just taking the chance to hit, to take the shot, which you should do. If you're going to be in a disadvantage like that and I'm stuck at the apex of my turn, you should be taking the shot. End of story. So we just chase him. Now, you could see shots coming down through the right-hand side there. I don't notice it until I actually hear the rush of air of a broken canopy. And as you can see, I've been shot. That 109 in the area that shot down the other plane, I don't know what he's doing. I thought he was still here, and we would have a little bit of a good time. So we leave the target here. He's spun out of control, and I look back checking my 6, and I see a 109 has decided to try and latch onto either myself or my target, and has let a hurricane come in behind the both of us, which is and he's still going. Like, it's just, it's just, it's both depressing and hilarious to watch. Um, so the hurricane is target fixated. We go over the top. We haven't sustained much damage because he's using 303s, which are as like the MG17, they're absolutely useless. And we come back in, lead a target, get some cannon rounds on him, and he eventually goes in like that. And that's a Spit 9. The Spit 9 has all of the advantages in this situation, like literally all of them. It can dive, it'll dive after you, it'll maintain speed, it's got excellent guns, it will outturn you forever, but the thing it can't do is maintain lead when you're pulling a turn at 600 k's an hour. The pilot will black out, much like you've seen in some of my other clips that I've shown. When they do that turn, I just pull away and then try to come back on them. And that's basically what I do here, except the opposite. So right now I'm just letting him get in position behind me because I want him there, actually. I want him to commit, right? And push it into a right hand bank, let him commit, come down. My speed's at 600 k's an hour, so my response time is still high on my control surfaces. His are not. Check our wigs out a little bit. Keep looking behind me. He's there. I decide to pull now, and I pull straight through. He goes straight on. I continue my turn, but here's the problem. I lose him in the sun. I zoom in a little bit, but it's not good enough. So I take some desperation shots just to see what happens. Plane stalls out a little bit. I recover, and he's still in a superior position, right? So I keep diving. I keep trying to build that speed up again, regardless of whether or not he's in a superior position. And we just do a repeat, basically. Instead, I try to do it the other way around because I don't want to lose him in the sun this time. But it doesn't work this time either. Let him get it relaxed in behind. He goes, pitches up. I roll over the top, roll through. He tries to gets a gun solution there, but I roll out of the way of that one as well. Tiny little, maybe I think I missed there completely. I have to look at the damage log. Don't think I even got an MG131 hit. So we basically do the whole rigmarole again. This time is a bit closer, so I have to really be on the ball here. Do the same thing. He can't follow it. Check our wigs out. I lose him. There, I find him again. Back in the sun. He's pulled off to the left for some reason. This is an opening that I get to get back into the fight, because now I can force the merge, do a little bit of a spray, and get some cannon rounds on. That gets me back into the fight, because now he's terrified. He's running. Well, he's got engine damage, wing damage, and the Spitfire with damage is not a fun thing to fly. I've got a little bit of 50 cal damage on my wing, left wing. We all know the problems with that, so it's not really affecting me as much. And here we're just trying to finish it off. He goes vertical. Probably not the best idea for him, but he pitches over really nicely. Get another couple of hits in the wing, and you could see as he came back down, he's got his flaps out. So he's tried. But since I got that hit in the wing, he's going to try and dive away, and it's simply kill Sakura from there. Okay, not so simply. I missed that shot, rather. And because I've got so much more excess speed than he does, and he's got a damaged engine, all I'm trying to do in this vertical climb is just to maneuver my plane so it doesn't get an easy shot. That was risky. Probably not the best idea to do, but come back over and we finish him off. Right, well, there it is. Hope you enjoyed it. I know there's a couple of editing issues in there, but I think you get the general gist of what I'm trying to say at the time. I just don't really feel like going back and re-recording it. So, yeah. If you liked it, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. Or don't. I don't care. Yep, there it is. Alright, bye.